Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live.
Habari Live.
From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast, the show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Iesha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Check. There you go. Who knows? You want to start it over again?
Yeah, the intro. Just the intro.
Okay.
Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live.
Habari Live.
From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast, the show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Iesha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Yo. Good morning. It looked like we're getting sound. I don't know why it's doing that, but whatever. Let's get it going, man. Another episode of Habari Live Saturday. You know, on Wednesday, we always do our thing, but today we are here to talk about the news and the things that's going on throughout the week. Just hoping you guys have had a good week and everything went good. But this week has been kind of crazy, man. What we have seen this week, man, as we've seen a couple cases, a couple trials get their endings, a couple things that have happened that has been, you know, just kind of wild for the people, man. And we're going to talk about it. And we talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, and we're going to continue to discuss what's going on with a couple of these cases. But first off, man, I want to thank everybody for spending their time, taking their time to watch us. And, you know, if this is your first time being here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like to hear different opinions about what's going on in the world and how someone else views what's happening and how this affects you, you know, and that's our main thing is we just love to discuss things, and we do go through our chats and our comments and talk to the people in the comment section to see how you guys feel. But Habari Gani, my people, man, we are thrilled to bring you the latest edition of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the Pulse of Phoenix and beyond. And as always, we are all the way live in Paradise Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. I am Damon Ellison, and my co-host Iesha. We will be your guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in our vibrant community, your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of our Phoenix. But first, let's go ahead and get to the top stories of the week. What's up, Ralph? And we'll go to what Iesha has here. Let's get it going.
Good morning. My name is Iesha, and here goes some of the stories that's making headlines this week. The Justice Department has moved to revoke citizenship in a rare denaturalization push. The Justice Department is seeking to strip citizenship from 17 individuals in what legal experts are describing as an unprecedented expansion of denaturalization efforts within the Trump administration. Federal officials say that the cases involve allegations of fraud or misconduct during the naturalization process. And critics are warning that the move could raise additional concerns about due process, and it could also create uncertainty around the naturalized process for citizens across the country.
That has been a mission of this administration, man, to make it as hard as possible for everyone to become Americans and to stay Americans. And they're going around, going through people's backgrounds and trying to get rid of people who are citizens and who have became citizens. This is ugly stuff, man.
Right.
And we're going to get into a lot more of this stuff now, right now, because it's starting to hurt the World Cup. It's hurting us our reputation around the world because of this ugly administration and the decisions they are making to try to make Americans feel un-American and unwelcome in our own country. It's
Right.
ugly. It's disgusting. But this is what we're facing right now.
Not only are naturalized citizens facing such hard times right now, a new report is warning that Social Security's trust fund could become insolvent by 2032, 1 year earlier than they previously expected. So, without congressional action, retirees could soon see automatic benefit reductions for roughly 22% of the population going into retirement. Lawmakers are facing a growing pressure to address the program's long term finances as millions of Americans are depending on Social Security benefits for their retirement income. I mean, a lot of boomers are now going into retirement and they're starting to see that they don't have as much money to live on retirement.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a big issue, man. As we see Social Security numbers start to take a hit, a lot of people who were hoping to have access to Social Security, it's going to be over with, man. It's done.
Right.
Social Security, and then you have Republicans doing everything they can to hurt Social Security, to make sure that you don't have it when you retire, even though all of us are paying into it. They're taking money out of our checks every bi-weekly, weekly, however you get paid for Social Security. But in the end, they're going to sit there and tell you, oh, you know what? We don't have it. We don't have the money for Social Security. So, you guys will be okay.
Right.
So all these people that have been working their ass off, putting into Social Security, hoping that it would help them when they retire, it won't be there.
Yep. Exactly.
And it's ugly, man, for the whole entire nation, man. These programs that Republicans hate, they hate them, and they want them taken out bad. And we'll be talking about it later, as you know, Johnson this week was caught on audio saying that they're going after the entitlement programs, Social Security and Medicare.
Yep.
You know, they can keep giving tax breaks to the wealthy, but they want to do that, but they do not want to do anything to help the people, the older people and the younger people, or those that are disabled.
Exactly.
This is craziness.
It really is. But moving closer to home, an employee has been placed on administrative leave after an autistic man was found dead inside of a hot van outside of a Mesa care facility. Authorities are investigating the circumstances surrounding this tragedy, and advocates are calling for increased oversight and stronger safety procedures for the vulnerable adults that are receiving care within our communities. I mean, this was just sad that I believe the employee is trying to say that, it was a simple mistake and he just simply forgot that this man was in the van and just went back inside to continue his daily duties.
Right.
Which is sad.
Yeah, man, it's scary. You don't want anyone. Oh, see, yeah, you don't want anyone that's vulnerable towards these type things to not get the type care that they deserve. But that has been a problem in America and throughout American history. That's why we closed down all of the facilities that helped the mentally ill, because there was so much abuse happening at these places. And instead of creating a group that can come in and make sure that these facilities are being ran correctly, we just shut them all down. And with everyone, these things happens when someone is autistic or someone has special needs, and you would hope that the people that are taking care of them really, really, really take care of them well. But we're not seeing that through our society.
No, we're not.
We're seeing, but that's oversight problem.
It is.
You have to have oversight. It doesn't matter what is going on or what is the medical procedure that is happening. or what is the facility is created for, there has to be oversight. And it's something that in America we some reason we can't figure out how to have good oversight to make sure that things like this do not happen in our country. But I guess we'll see, man.
Right. Also this week, President Donald Trump sparked debate by simply saying that he loves inflation while discussing the economy. Economists have generally viewed inflation as a challenge because it reduces purchasing power and increases cost for the consumers. But here's the thing, supporters are arguing that the president was referring to economic growth and rising wages, while critics are saying that the remarks reflect a misunderstanding of the impact that inflation actually has on everyday Americans who aren't able to afford paying their rent or putting gas in their cars or simply going to the doctor when they need to.
This is just, another situation where we see Trump put his foot in his mouth. He's said a lot of things that were pretty ignorant. He said he didn't care about the issues that Americans are facing daily. He openly said he didn't care. Now he's openly saying he loves inflation because it's not hurting him. He's making billions every day off of being in the White House. He's making billions by being the president right now. If he's not selling tennis shoes and telephones and access and gold coins and bitcoins, he's doing everything, man. And he knows that no one's going to say anything because the Republican Party is in between his butt cheeks, and he can do whatever he wants to. And you Trumpers, y'all just it's TDS, TDS. If we say anything about anything he does, you guys just fight for him. Doesn't matter what he does, how much money he makes. You guys are just Biden, Biden, but Obama, but Obama, but Biden. That's all you're gonna do. You're never gonna hold your people accountable. We see them with this running in Maine, and the guy out there in Maine, he had a couple abuse cases where they said that he was abusing women. And here comes the Republicans, really to fix their mouths, to say that, oh, he shouldn't be running. Oh, how can Democrats back him? As they back the president with more accusations of rape and fraud and abuse, admitting abuse out of his own mouth. And you guys just don't care. But you always want to hold everyone else to a different standard. Unbelievable, the Republican Party. The person that they put in charge is the worst person ever in history. And they want to sit there and try to tell someone else about standards and who they should put in charge. Platt is the person that has the abuse charges. The man said that, I you know what I'm saying, I admit I made some decisions, something Trump will never admit. Never admit that he did anything wrong. Platt said, I did some things. I had some PTSD. I had some mental issues when I first got home, and I made some bad decisions. But I'm a better person now. And they still want to hold him accountable. But your person just lies. Oh,
it wasn't him.
It wasn't me. I didn't do anything. They're all coming after me. It's the deep state. It's the Democrats. Right. It's them. It's everybody but him. He never, ever takes responsibility for anything. Ever. Platt says, yeah, I take responsibility. I made some bad decisions. Democrats, hey, yeah, man, we forgive the guy. We do believe the women that he made this mistake. But hey, the guy he said that he made a bad decision. People make mistakes, right? No one's perfect. But when you sit there and you give passes for people and you sit there and say, hey, no, he didn't do anything, they will never face accountability and never be able to say, hey, I'm sorry for the things that I did and the behavior that I created. But President Trump never, ever says those things. Ever.
Additionally, this week, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates appeared before the House Oversight Committee as lawmakers continued examining records connected to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Gates had previously acknowledged that he had met Epstein on several occasions and had described those meetings as a mistake. And the hearing comes amid the ongoing congressional efforts to gather additional information regarding Epstein's network and his relationship to prominent figures like Bill Gates and Donald Trump, who will never go before the committee to be questioned in regards to his relation to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, man, it's crazy that we get to see everyone else be brought to a hearing,
Hmm.
but Trump,
But Trump,
the person who is in the files
the most.
the most. How is this guy skirting responsibility of being pulled into a hearing? Now, if this was Bill Clinton when he cheated on his wife, he was pulled in, and they wanted to impeach him.
Hmm.
Now, Donald Trump found guilty of all these crimes, and they're making excuses for him. They won't pull him into a hearing. They'll pull Bill Clinton into one, though.
Right.
They'll pull Hillary Clinton into one. Oh well, we're getting some political points for this.
Pam Bondi goes to
They,
one.
they're gonna send Bill Gates, all these other people, but not Trump.
Yep.
Oh, Ludwig, I think he was pulled into one, but his, they never held accountable. These people, I swear, man, the Republican Party just think they can do whatever they want to do, but everybody else is held to a different accountability standards, and it's insane to me.
Hmm. It is. It really is. But moving on, soccer fans around the globe are turning their attention to the upcoming FIFA World Cup. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are serving as the co hosts, with anticipation growing for what is expected to be one of the largest sporting events that's ever been staged. Teams are now preparing for qualifying and final roster decisions, while organizers expect millions of visitors and billions of viewers worldwide. But we are also seeing some cases where referees and coaches are not able to obtain their visas in order to accompany the team or the players that are participating.
Yeah, man, this is embarrassing. This has been ridiculous
Hmm.
to see. It's been ridiculous to hear. We're going to talk more about this. A referee from Somalia was not allowed to come to America. We know that JD Vance and all these guys made jokes about the World Cup back a little while ago. I'm going to show some video of that, but most of this stuff is just these guys straight up do not want foreigners to come to America. These guys are doing everything they can to try to keep certain people from coming. And when you look at the rules of FIFA, then if a country is not allowing certain people to come to their country, they're not supposed to get the games. America, the game shouldn't even came here. When they saw what Trump was about and everything that he's trying to do, they should have took the games to another country because America does not deserve them at all. With the way we're treating people, the way they're treating Iran, the way they're treating every other country, this is horrible.
Horrible.
People pay for their tickets. They're not allowing them to come over here. We're seeing stadiums empty, seats empty, because Trump and them do not want to allow people to have visas to come fucking watch the games.
Hotels empty.
This is supposed to be a good time where people are having fun from all around the world.
And businesses are supposed to be making a lot of money based off the tourism.
But no, Trump, they don't like anybody. They don't like people. They don't want people here. They don't want anyone here. So they're doing everything they can to ruin the fucking games. They've blocked everyone, blocked a referee because he's black and from Somali. And you know how Trump feels about the Somali people. He openly says how much he hates them. We have Somali Americans that he just talks about like trash.
Yep.
We have it on video. It's nothing to lie about. I mean, it's on video of him saying how trash they are. He blocks a Somali referee who has been doing his job for decades, refereeing the games. And what's going on? What's happening? They're blocking him from coming to America. Mm-hmm. They're blocking people from certain countries they don't want here. The games never should have came to America, but since FIFA, the only thing they care about is kissing Donald Trump's butt with that dumbass award that they gave him earlier in the year. Horrible, horrible decisions, man. And I just can't believe that the games are still here with the things that's going on, and FIFA is just looking the other way.
Mm-hmm.
FIFA's looking the other way as they treat people like trash and don't let people in the country for the games. People can't get their baggage handlers and all the people that helped out with the teams. They can't even get them into the country right now. This is craziness, man. And I don't think that anybody thought that these games would be like this, but that is what is happening.
Exactly. It is. Lastly, analysts have continued to speculate that Elon Musk will become the world's first trillionaire. Given yesterday with SpaceX's launch, it did make him the first trillionaire in the world. And much of his wealth is tied to companies including Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI, among some of his other adventures. But while reaching the $1 trillion mark would require significant growth, experts are saying that Musk remains one of the few individuals whose assets and business interests could actually make such a milestone possible within the next few years. I mean, none of his companies really have that much, but he's still a trillionaire, given all of the government subsidies and contracts that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why he's not a trillionaire.
Yeah, man. Our government, pays Elon a lot of money for contracts for SpaceX and for his satellites and everything.
Right.
So, he gets a lot of money from my tax dollars, pay up money.
Yep.
And I wish my tax dollars didn't go to this guy. This guy is a open white supremacist, pushing white supremacist theories, open racist, He's openly racist. Every time there's anything that's going on with immigrants, here he comes. Who is an immigrant in our country? But he loves talking shit about immigrants. But
he's an immigrant himself.
It's only that he's talking about immigrants that's dark colored. It's okay to be an immigrant when you're white, but when you're a black immigrant, it's a fucking problem. And he loves to push it, and he's openly racist. And this dude gets my tax dollars. I don't have a decision to make to say, nah, I don't want my tax dollars to go to this chump. But he's getting rich, putting more money in his pocket, and we give him more and more tax breaks for we can make sure that we got people who have $1 trillion fucking dollars, man. We see taxing the rich is how we had a bigger middle class back in the day, how we had a country that was cleaner. We had an infrastructure that was together. This is how those things happen. 40, 50 years of giving the rich tax breaks has only made the rich richer. And they'll say some shit like, oh, well, the rich pay most of the taxes. Nah, the bottom 90% pays more taxes than the top 10% who has all the money. And they got more money than the bottom 90. These people have all the money and they pay no taxes. We seen on Trump taxes, this dude paid like $750. He a billionaire. These people pay nothing while we have to fucking pay everything. And like I keep saying, when this country was the best for everyone, we taxed the shit out of them. We taxed them. This is the reason why taxes exist. If a country is a person, if a person is $1 trillion, like, it's so fucking dumb. And everybody's sitting around celebrating, can't even afford to buy a fucking McDonald's burger, and you're celebrating that this dude hoarding $1 trillion in his pockets.
Right.
He doesn't help anyone.
He could go out there and end world hunger.
Man, this dude don't help anyone but himself. They try to act like because he comes up with innovative ideas that is helping. He doesn't care about none of us. He doesn't care about anything except trying to keep his white supremacy beliefs alive. You ever hear him talk about things that he care about or people that he cares about, people that he wants to save to make better?
Or communities that
And he
he's
doesn't.
helped.
The only thing he do is shit on people. He got X or Twitter just for people can say the N-word because he didn't like that people couldn't say the N-word openly. He wanted people to be able to say what they wanted and say horrible things online. So he made a platform, and that platform is, hey
Hate.
man, that's all it is. It's hate speech, horrible.
Racist.
It's horrible. I don't even mess with Twitter anymore, or X or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm done. I'm not going to give my man to someone my money to someone
Elon is the
or
biggest
my time.
person accepting welfare.
He gets subsidies.
Yep.
Why is it okay when rich people get subsidies and they get all this contracts and all this government money? It's okay, but if a poor person gets $6, y'all up in arms.
Right.
Kills me, man. All this money that these people get.
They're so outraged about someone receiving $6 a day for a meal.
Exactly.
But they're not upset that one person has all the money and
all the money. They don't care. They would care less.
They'd rather continue putting their money in this man's pocket. Mm-hmm. But, coming up, we're going to go ahead and discuss who gets self-defense. Is it Carmelo Anthony, Cyrus Carmack Belton, or is it the actual suspect?
Well, we already know the answer to that.
But let's go ahead and run that commercial, bro.
How many times we going to run we got one commercial? Go ahead and run it, man. Corporate media failed the people. They told us what to think, what stories mattered, and who deserved a voice. Meanwhile, everyday people are struggling.
But
families can't afford groceries.
I went in there earlier.
Politicians are performing for cameras instead of helping the community. And mainstream media keeps protecting the same broken system. That's why we created Habari Live. Independent media, unfiltered conversations, real discussions about politics, sports, culture, entertainment, and the issues affecting real people. We're not backed by billionaires. We're not reading corporate scripts. And we're not afraid to challenge narratives. Because the people deserve more than outrage and propaganda. They deserve truth, perspective, community, news our way. This is Habari Live. Subscribe now and join the movement. Habari Live. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway. All right, man. So we're going to go ahead and play a clip here. And this just came out this morning, man. We, this week, Carmelo Anthony was found guilty and sentenced to 35 years in prison. A lot of people, were upset about this on both sides of the race. Black people, trying to say that self-defense never works for us. A guy walks up to a kid trying to get him to leave a tent when he doesn't own the tent. It's not his tent, but he feels as though he has the right to go and make the kid leave. So he walks up to him and he pushes him. He does everything he can to cause a altercation. Now, if he didn't walk up on the kid, the kid would be still alive. But this in this country, everybody's gonna jump on the side of everyone else, and it's gonna be make this into a racial issue, especially when it's one black and one white. Now I say it all the time, man. His reaction to stab him is why he's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make decisions like that, man. But I still say that accountability is on both people. Because why did he feel so open to just walk over to the kid and say, you're leaving? You got to leave. And then push him, after the kid says, hey, don't touch me. Don't mess with me. But we get a little bit into the insight into the Metcalf home and how the father was teaching his kids and the mind state of the kid a little bit, because we see what the father was thinking. Mm-hmm. It's all the way at the top.
Go back up. That one.
Play this video, man.
Oh, there was no black jurors. You know why? Because you can't be unbiased, you dumb shit. If you answer the question, I can't send a black man to jail because he's black, you're not getting on the jury. You're so unintelligent, you can't even fill out a form correctly. You don't even know who your daddy is because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore. You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all. You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real. Because they ain't only black people. White people do the same. I'll call them out just as hard as I'll call you out. Anybody who doesn't work, who wants free government handouts, who wants to live in a socialistic society, move to Russia. And normally, I don't normally attack people like this, but I have been cooped up and caged up and this anger. And this is something I'm trying to work on. I need to develop it and funnel it into a more constructive way. But tonight is the one time I'm going to allow myself. It's okay. Tonight, I'm going to allow myself to say what I really want to say. Because most of the time, I don't say what I want to say because it's not correct. Just because you think something doesn't mean you believe it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it a fact.
The racist ideology that his father had, he took and put it into his own daily life.
Who do you think that his son walked up to that guy?
He thought he was entitled.
He thought he was entitled because listen to his father. Listen to his father. And all the white people in the comment section talking about facts. Like they love it.
Ryan said
they
that's
love
why his
it.
son with Charlie Kirk.
Oh
now.
yeah, all black people on EBT. Every black person is poor and don't have a baby and a baby mama. Like dog, y'all so dumb and racist, bro. And then y'all, but that's the thing. The fucked up part is y'all believe it. Look at him. Look, he think he said something. Oh, I'm saying the truth. Dog, really? Black people can't be unbiased, but white people can. But when we look
they're
at
the only people that can.
When we look at outcomes for black people, it's always worse in a country that's majority white. Why are so many black people exonerated from prison that are going to jail for 40, 50 years for crimes they didn't commit? In a world where they say they can be biased, but black people can't. The racism is just so thick.
It's
ingrained. Systemic racism. And you see why his son walked up to Carmelo and just felt he could tell Carmelo whatever he wants. Because look what his father has taught him.
Yep.
Look what his father says. Then he's talking about 78% of black people have no just say anything. They just say dumbass statistics, racist ass statistics, and act like it's real. It's not real. It's not right. 35% of black people are married. So how can 78% be black households without fathers? And just because the person isn't married does not mean that the father is not there. Marriage is an economic situation. And
it's
most people don't. It's a financial decision. Most people don't. A lot of poor people don't decide to get married because they're poor
and can't afford a $25,000 wedding.
They look at the weddings and they look at it as something that rich people do. But you know, let's act like all black people don't have their kids and black fathers are never there. This dude here just shown exactly like Andrew Zimmerman, shown his real true colors after the jury says not guilty. We see the real true colors of these people. We see what was going on in the Metcalf home, how they were talking about black people.
How they were raising
their kids to be racist as fuck. Why he thought he could go up to the black dude and tell him where he needs to go and what tent he needs to be in. Because this racism mentality, these white folks are teaching to their kids and thinking that this shit don't have any type of cause or any effect on reality is bull. You're teaching your kids to be racist. You're teaching them racist shit like Austin Metcalf's father is, who openly, now the shit that he says openly right there. Could you imagine what he's saying behind the cameras? The shit that he just said he didn't want to say. He couldn't say.
Going to the courthouse and getting married is still considered a wedding.
Going to the courthouse and getting married is
It's considered a wedding.
Yes, definitely. But most people don't look at that as wedding. They look at the TV, the white dress, the big, all the family. That's what people.
All the women
that's how
I've
people
seen
look
go to
at
the
it.
courthouse wearing a white wedding dress.
But I'm just saying, most people look at marriage as that, as a big wedding. That's why a lot of people don't do it, because they look at it as money. They don't look at it as, yes, I can go the cheap way. I want to give my woman what everybody else gets, what the people get in America. They don't look at it as, oh, go to a courthouse and that's they don't look at it like that. People look at it as like marriage is the money.
Understandable.
The money, the paying
However,
for it, the ring.
It is still considered a wedding.
Nobody's saying it isn't.
Someone just did. You can go up to the courthouse. It was in the comment section. That is the only reason I pointed that out.
They saying the courthouse isn't a wedding?
They said their parents didn't have a wedding ceremony. They just went to the courthouse. That is still a wedding. They went and got married. They signed wedding certificates. They signed a marriage license.
But that's not the point.
That is still getting married.
I understand, but that's not the point, though. I don't know what
you're trying to go over the fact that I was acknowledging someone's comment.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you just did.
Okay. All right. Anyway, like I was saying, man, this shit, the racism is ridiculous, dog, and it gets old fast. And to see Austin Metcalf's father come out here and show his real side kills, just shows the truth. That's all it does. I had another one. Dang, I think I forgot to
pull it in. Which one was it? It was on.
Don't worry about it. But it's ridiculous, man. And I just, it just gets played out. Weddings and when you look at the Black community, and we're not getting married in those numbers, and I think it is more about the financial aspects of anything, and that's what I was trying to say.
I know it's about finances. You're right.
Yes, you're getting married if you go to the courthouse. I wasn't trying to dispute that. My dispute was it's about the money, and that's what people think about. The ring, they want to give their woman the best, and they'll rather not do that.
Right, I understand.
Not meet those standards.
Traditionally, the woman's father is supposed to pay for the wedding.
Right, but a lot of people don't have it. Like, poor people don't have it like that.
A lot of Black people and a lot of poor people don't have that generational wealth in order to be able to pay for their daughters' weddings like white people do, or Asian people, or other cultures have that ability to be able to pay for their daughters' weddings. We don't.
Right. And like I said, and I also don't think that people look at weddings and getting married the same way they did in the last generation. And I also don't think that the parents look at wedding and getting married the same way it was looked at in the other generations. I just don't think that people have the same outlook on when it comes to marriage. When you got a girl pregnant back in the day, back in the 50s, 60s, and 40s, the dad he held a shotgun and made you get married to his daughter. Nowadays, it's just not like that.
Right, but that's because you got his daughter pregnant. So now you finna take her. This your responsibility now. It ain't mine.
A man wouldn't do that today, though. That's what I'm saying. Those things that were old school and the way people thought about things back then, it's not like that now. It's not looked at in the same way, and people aren't as religious as they used to be either. Marriage across the board is going down. Period. The whole thing was to blame everything on marriage and acting like religion is the savior for everything and getting married is the savior for everything is bullshit. I just don't believe it. I do believe that fatherhood is good for boys. I don't believe that fatherhood is the answer to everything, because you have some kids who are good who didn't grow up with their father. You have some that's bad, but when you look at the numbers, you see that being fatherless can hurt the home, because when it comes to women and single women, they are not making the money to be able to keep their family above the poverty line. And that's the big problem that is being seen. It's about money. And that you all can say race all you want to, but everything when it comes to economic and crime is always connected to money. And if you come up in a good home, you usually aren't going to do dumb shit. But if you come up in a home where you're poor, it's a higher percentage of kids making those mistakes. And single mothers usually don't have the money or the finances to keep the kids out of it. Because when you look at the correlation between money and crime, you see the problem. Money is the big issue, man. But we also see, man, in America, self-defense is a something that Black people do not they cannot say they are doing in this country. No matter the situation, when you look at Carmelo Anthony, Cyrus, Carmack Belton, we look at these situations, man, we see that we can never be afraid. We're always on some criminal shit, no matter what the situation. Either if we end up dead or someone else ends up dead, we can't be afraid for our lives when you're Black. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Now, we looked up other situations and other cases where a white kid stabbed someone at school and it was an altercation. We saw one kid go probation. We saw another kid that got 10 years in prison. Why did Carmelo get 35? He's a young kid. He made a mistake. Why did he get 35? Now, you saying it wasn't self-defense? Okay. But we saw other cases and we've seen other cases where people get less time. Why was he getting 35? Why are they trying to make it like this kid went to that school that day to stab someone because he had a knife? And we all know people who walked around with pocket knives. I've known plenty kids back in the day had pocket knives. Plenty people had pocket knives. Now they're all want to sit here and act like, oh, that's hey, pocket knife, you're a killer. You're a killer. I understand, when it's Black people, the weapons are different. Because when we have weapons, it's got to be a crime. But it seems like we never get the benefit of the doubt, man, in these situations, man. It's something that's getting old.
Seems like it's okay for white people to be able to carry weapons, but we're not allowed to.
We're not allowed to. Just like I was telling you about a video where a guy was walking around. He had his open. He was doing open carrying. All the white people were just looking at him so concerningly because there was a Black person walking around with a gun, and they just was so upset. But anytime you see the white guys, the good old boys walking around with their guns, no one says a word. But for us, everybody's pissed off and, oh my God, look. Anytime a gun comes up and it's a Black person, it's automatic like we're guilty of something. In the case in South Carolina, the kid runs, he has a gun, he deserves to die. It doesn't matter that he was running away. They're trying to say that, hey, he pointed the gun while he was running, even though in the court, the defense showed how it was impossible. He was not shot in the side. He was not shot on the in any angle that showed that he was pointing a gun. And the jury still said it was okay. They shot this man in the back. And I don't have the video, but after you watch the video from this case, you see how big that the guy was that Mr. Child said he was scared.
My son was scared of him.
His son was like 6'2", 6'3", 240. Chasing after a 14-year-old kid. He talking about he's scared for his son's life, who is 240 pounds. Chasing a 14-year-old. Shot this kid after chasing him. Then they run out of the store because the grandma said he's stealing something. As soon as he came in the store, man, she put her hawk eyes on. She was watching every second of dude.
She was definitely treating him like hurry up and buy.
She was watching him like a hawk. The kid walks out of the store. She's first, hey, what do you got? You got something. He showed her, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. But what he did have was that gun. So he goes outside, he stands around for a little while, and here they come running after him. Hey, come back here. He starts running. People running up on you running. What are you going to do?
He did not.
He was just chilling. He did not go out of the store and start running. He was just chilling in the parking lot. They started running after him, and then he started running. Big ass dude, like I said, dude looks 6'2", 6'3" to me. Big dude, walking around like he tough. And they're going to talk about they was scared. And it was okay that he shot him? What? Like, dog, this is craziness. But today we're asking a question that sits at the heart of American justice system. Who gets to say self-defense? It doesn't seem like it's the Black Americans. Because across this country, every year, prosecutors, judges, juries, and police officers are forced to answer one critical question. Was a person protecting themselves? When you look at this Metcalf case, automatically he's guilty. Look at his racist ass father. Look at the racism.
Walked up on this kid as the aggressor.
He walked up on him, pushed him.
Metcalf was the aggressor.
But they said that even though that Metcalf walked to him, pushed him, all of the kids said that Carmelo was the aggressor. Because he told him, if you touch me, I'm going to do something to you. We got Chud the Biller walking around every single day, calling people N-word. Well, he's in jail now. He was walking around every day, calling people N-words and then saying, do something, I dare you. So now if a black kid says do something, he's a criminal automatically. Look, he said do something. He was aggressive.
He dared him to do it.
He told him that if he did it, he was aggressive. So the person walking up on me, trying to get me to leave, pushing me, he's not the aggressor. But the person who said, touch me, I'm going to fuck you up, is the aggressor. Wow, man. When you're black, you can't even stand your own anything. You can't stand your anything. And like I've said since the beginning, why didn't Metcalf go get a fucking adult? Why didn't he go get an adult? Why does he get a pass and he doesn't have to go get an adult? He can go walk up on the kids that's the same age as him, push him and tell him he got to lead a tent. All the other kids, you got to go. Do y'all own this tent? Did you buy it?
Metcalf walked up on him being a bully. Get out of here. You don't have no right to be here.
Right.
That's basically what.
But looking at his father and the way his father's talking and acting, I understand
why Metcalf did it.
I understand why.
Because that's what he was taught to do.
I understand why. So they always acting like was a crime committed. On paper, the law's supposed to be blind. On paper. But it always seems that the white side always wins. No matter what the situation, man. We know who gets exonerated the most from crime. It's always black men. The standard is supposed to be the same for everyone. We already know 11.4% of white cases when they're going against black people is seen as self-defense. But when it comes to black people trying to say self-defense
against a white person,
never happens. 1.4% of the time. So it's never self-defense for us. We're never assaulted. It's always the black person is the criminal. And then they want to say that we are biased. When we see in the numbers when it comes to arrest, when it comes to who get pulled over, we know the cases, we talk about it all the time. The cases where they studies where they seen how black people are pulled over more in daytime than at nighttime. Mm-hmm. Overly pulled over. But at nighttime, when they can't see who the person is, the pullover rates are more even. But when they can see that you're black, overtly, more black people are pulled over. More black people are taken to jail. More black people get higher fucking years in jail. The system has always been skewed toward us and making sure that we are fucked. Someone reasonably believed that they were facing an imminent threat. When they're black, they don't care. Did they have a legal right to defend themselves? When they black, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Did they use force that was justified under the circumstances? These are simple questions. But somehow when it's a black person, it's always no. We're never defending ourselves. We're always, it's stand your ground when it's white person, but with a black person, we can't stand our ground. We're supposed to run. We're supposed to flee. And even if we do flee, they can shoot you in the back
And it
and say
still
it's
get
justified.
justified.
Say I'm running and I'm still justified.
I'm running away scared of you.
Justified.
And I get shot in the back.
Justified.
It's justified that
And
you
you can
shot
say
me in the
it's
back.
not because you're black, but when you look at the numbers and you look at the statistics, it says that it's skewed towards blacks. It's skewed toward us. All the numbers say that we are all the ones that never can say self-defense. We never get that. But when researchers started looking at decades of homicide cases across America, they discovered something fucking troubling. Outcomes weren't equal when it came to black people.
Not even close.
It's not even close. Study after study has found that self-defense claims involving white defendants and black victims are far more likely to be ruled justified than cases where the racial roles are reversed. In some jurisdictions, the difference is staggering. And that raises a lot of difficult questions. Questions that people may become uncomfortable with because they love to ignore racism. Questions many politicians would rather avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Questions about race, questions about perception, questions about whose fear is considered reasonable, questions about whose life is valued,
more valued,
and those questions about whether justice truly operates the same for everyone. Today, we're going to look at that data. We're going to look at the research, and we're going to look at how self-defense laws operate in practice. And we're going to ask whether America has one standard for white people and another standard for everyone else. Or whether some people receive the benefit of the doubt, and for some reason, black people never get that same benefit.
For sure. But today's conversation is not just about cheering for one side and attacking the other. It's about understanding how the system actually works. Because regardless of your politics, regardless of your race, and regardless of your views on gun rights, self-defense laws, everybody should want the same justice system that applies equally across the board. You do a crime, you pay the time, right? But if the facts are facts and the race doesn't matter, but when the researchers continue finding racial disparities year after year in study after study, naturally people are going to start asking questions. So today we're going to explore some of those questions, and we're going to give you some of those answers based off of the studies that we've seen. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So as we break this down, man, let's start with the data, because feelings are one thing, evidence is another. And, people think that they know everything, and, they automatically think that, hey, black people, they're black. They just commit more crime because they're black. One of the most cited studies in this case comes from researchers analyzing FBI homicide data. They found that killings involving a white shooter and a black victim were ruled justified significantly more, and often those killings involved a black shooter and a white victim. Think about that. Why isn't it even? Why do we not face the same legal standards? Shouldn't the self-defense laws be the same for both groups? Why are the disparities are so huge? Why do we see so many different outcomes for the black person? Researchers found disparities that remain even after accounting for various factors. That does not automatically prove that it's racism, but it does demand some explanations. Because if outcomes consistently favor one group over another people, we deserve to know fucking why.
Exactly. And this is where the conversation usually becomes a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of people. Some people are hearing that these statistics and they're immediately assuming that it's racism. It has to be the only reason why these statistics are the way they are. And then others are hearing them and they're immediately dismissing racism. Well, he did the crime, so he must pay the time. But neither reaction actually answers the questions that we have. Why are the outcomes so different? That's what really matters. And because if race isn't the only reason that something else must be driving these disparities, then we must try to figure that out, right? So this is why we have researchers spending their time and their years trying to figure out what's causing such disparities. Why is it that this group of people is getting justified self-defense and this group's not? Why are they able to claim self-defense but this group's not? That's what the research is for.
Really, folks. Yeah, police kill more white people. They definitely do. But when you look at the disparities and you go by per capita, its per capita is way more higher for black people. But at the same time, it's the fact that you guys don't care that police are killing white people at astronomical rates. And y'all would just keep clapping it on. You don't care. You don't care. Like, I don't even know why y'all bring up numbers. You try to bring, well, white people are the ones, but you don't give a fuck.
You're not out there marching and protesting that the police white people are beating y'all and killing y'all.
Y'all don't care. It's like, well, kill them. They probably deserve to die. We care. We don't want our people being killed by fucking police officers. We know you don't give a fuck because you're gonna be like, well, he probably deserved it.
Right.
That's y'all thought pattern. My thought pattern is no one should deserve to die from the hand of the police. That's not the way it's supposed to work. You don't care about what's going on. Yeah, you don't care about criminals. That's right.
They don't have any
they don't have sympathy or empathy or compassion for anyone. Life. They don't care about anyone's lives. That's the way. That's the Republican Party. Unless it happens to them and then it's, oh, poor me. No, you didn't care. Remember how you didn't care about everyone else? We don't care about you. But one theory that appears repeatedly in academic research is implicit bias and prejudice in the system that is created by America. It's not overt racism. It's just bias. Not someone sitting on a jury saying they dislike black people. It's not always that. And it is some. Researchers are talking about the subconscious assumptions. Who looks dangerous? And to white people, when they see a black person, they automatically, he's dangerous. He looks like he wants to steal something.
He's a thug. Because
the mind state, the practice of racism is embedded in them. Listen to the father of Metcalf. We just played the video. His racism. How he taught his kids the racism. We already know. We just saw the proof by seeing his interview, how racist he is. And he was proud of it. Oh, black people are on EBT and all of them have baby daddies. So crazy how they think about us, man. But they think we're all dangerous. They think we all look like a threat. They think we're all aggressive. The white man could be angry. He could be upset. He's not ever labeled as the angry guy. But me, I come on here and I get upset about what's going on in the world. Oh, look, he's angry. He's mad. I see other politicians, they get excited about something and no one says a word. But let a black person get it. Oh, the angry black guy. We're never innocent. We're always assumed because our skin color that we're doing something criminal. But we see that self-defense law often depends on what is considered a reasonable fear. When it comes to black people, we can't have that reasonable fear. We can't be afraid of our life for our lives. A person can come up on us, push us, be physical with us, and they can say, hey, you shouldn't have been scared. But if a white person, a black person pushes a white person, or even if one running away, they're running away from the person, they can be scared. Like in the child case, he's chasing him and his 6'2", 250-pound son is chasing a 14-year-old, 130-pound kid, and they can say, I was scared. Are you fucking kidding me? It's two of y'all, and dude is twice the size of that kid. And y'all can say, I was scared, and everybody's going to believe him. Oh, he was scared. The kid was running away, but he's still black. And they get not guilty. If that kid was white, I'll put everything I own that he would not have been guilty. Not guilty. Found not guilty. Everything I own, I'll put on it. If that was a white kid, I don't care if the circumstances was exactly the same. That dude, child, would be in jail right now if that was a white kid. But it wasn't. So the circumstances are different. Having guns is not a criminal, not a crime in America. Remember, you guys fought for the Second Amendment. You want everybody to have a gun.
Some states have
What's the
open
problem?
carry.
Y'all said everybody can have a fucking gun. Everybody should have a gun, is what y'all say. Y'all teach y'all kids how to have guns. Y'all teaching y'all 5-year-olds how to shoot, how to kill, taking them to target practice, and it's all good. See pictures of white kids with guns, no one says a word. 14-year-old black kid with a gun, oh my God, he's a criminal. He has to be doing something. We can't do shit, dog. Y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want to, but black people, for some reason, we can't do shit. Can't have a gun. Can't do shit. We can't do nothing. Can't have a knife. All of the things that I've seen these white kids do, we can't do them.
We get called criminals for doing the same things.
We're criminals.
And thugs.
He has a gun. He was a criminal. What? I thought y'all said it was cool. It's legal to carry a gun. Y'all take guns or AK-47s and walk around with them on your back. No one says a word. This dude got a gun that's hitting. No one is fucking seen. And it's a problem.
He hasn't brandished it. He hasn't shown it to anyone.
If a black person claims they are feared for their life, a jury has to decide whether that was fear or was reasonable. That's where perception becomes incredibly important.
Very important. So let's go ahead and talk about that power of perception. Because perception drives everything in these particular cases. Imagine you have two identical situations, the same facts, the same actions, and the same circumstances. But the people involved look totally different. Would the outcome remain the same for both cases? Most Americans would like to believe that the answer to that question is yes, the outcome is going to be the same for both situations. But psychology research suggests that perception is often influenced by race, gender, and appearance, where researchers have documented what is called adultification biases. This is the tendency for Black children and Black teenagers to be perceived as much older than they actually are. Now, as a Black woman in America, I can tell you that when I was 13, 14, 15, people assumed that I was 20 years old. Why?
Yep,
I'm 15.
I was 16. I was buying alcohol as a 21-year-old. They let me buy alcohol at 15, 16 years old because they look at us as older. I took advantage of it, but they look at Black people as older. They never say, "Oh, look at that kid." So once you get past a little phase, you're an adult when you're Black.
Yep, exactly. You're made to look older. You're considered less innocent, and you're more responsible and more threatening. Even when you're children, as young as 12, 9, 8 years old, you're considered older than you actually are.
Yeah, man, that's the norm now, and that's where this discussion becomes larger than self-defense laws, because we're talking about how people are viewed throughout the entire justice system, from the first interaction with the police to charging decisions, the pretrial detention, to plea deals, to sentencing. Every step involves human judgment. And human judgment is not always neutral. We have a prejudice issue in this country. And we have these same people, even the jurors, have their bias and their prejudices built inside of them. And they bring those prejudices to the courtroom. And just like old Austin Metcalf father said, oh, black people can't be unbiased. Well, white people can't either. And since the lawyers know that, they fight their ass off to make sure there's no black people in the fucking jurors pool. Your bias is going to say that the black person is a criminal. The black person's bias is going to be like, hey, not all black people are fucking criminals.
Right.
So they're going to think of him not as a fucking criminal.
Black
but the white folks and everybody else are going to be like, he's a criminal.
You know that saying, you're innocent until proven guilty? Black people really believe that. If you are found guilty, then you are guilty. If not, you are innocent until proven otherwise.
Right.
But white people look at black people and automatically say, guilty.
Right.
They did it.
Yeah. Automatically.
Automatically. Every time.
And researchers have found black youth are more likely to face adult prosecution. You see that this kid just got 35 years, not the 10 years that these other kids got, but 35. More likely to receive harsher punishments, black people are. More likely to be detained for before trial and not being given a bail or a bond. Those disadvantages compound over time. It's not fair that the system always comes down harder on the black person. It's not fair that black people are always taken out of the juror pool. It's not fair that our words is never fucking seen in the system. And they sit there and say, oh, these are your peers. These ain't my fucking peers. They think I'm a murderer. But as soon as they look at me, how are these my peers? These are racist people who gives a fuck about me or anything that I'm going through. And the results in this justice system is always unequal. The treatment at one stage creates unequal outcomes, and at the next stage gives unequal punishment.
Yep. So the question remains here is, who actually gets the benefit of the doubt? Meaning, this may be the most important question for today. We're going to ask this question a lot. Who's getting the benefit of the doubt? Because that's what really self-defense comes down to when you have these kinds of cases. The benefit of the doubt, when evidence is incomplete, when the witnesses disagree, and when memories are conflicting. Because guess what? Eyewitness testimony is not always guaranteed. It's not always correct. Mm-hmm. So when the jurors are uncertain, who receives the presumption that they were acting reasonably in their mind? Who receives the presumption that they were actually afraid? I was afraid of this kid. He walked up on me. I didn't know what he was going to do to me. So I told him, if you touch me, I have no other choice but to defend myself. I'm scared of you at this point. So who is receiving that presumption that they are protecting themselves, and who doesn't?
History suggests that answer has not always been equal, man. For generations, black Americans have had to prove their innocence in ways white Americans often did not. And while we've made tremendous progress as a country, researchers continue documenting disparities that cannot be ignored. The question isn't whether racism exists. The question is how much influence it still has over our court system, over our voting system. This is the reason why we talk about systemic issues, because regular people are the people that enter to government. And these people have regular biases, regular prejudices, regular racism that is embedded in their fucking brain. And we watched the video from Austin Metcalf's father, who sat there and said every racist trope that you can think of, that he was teaching to his sons, that they're better than black people, and black people are this, and black people that. That's all they do is blame us. That's all they do is talk about us.
They want to be us.
And whether we are willing to confront it honestly, which we can't, because white people do not want to see themselves as the enemy. They don't want to see themselves as bad guys. They want to be the good guys, even though they continue to push bias, prejudice, racism. Then they'll just sit around, oh, it's not me, or you're the racist. It's the black people. It's all this stupid shit. You're 60% of the population, and you're going to blame 14% on the racism? Like, you have states that have like 1% black people in it. In
like
most
5,000 people total.
And you're going to sit around and say that those are the problem? The little bitty groups of people are the problem, and it's not the people who are the majority. It can't be them. It's got to be the people that's barely fucking accounted for. Man, it's fucking ridiculous, man. But let's talk about stand your ground laws and how they seem to not apply to black people at all. Supporters argue these laws empower law-abiding citizens to defend themselves. But somehow black people can never defend themselves, can never stand up for themselves, can never be afraid. Critics argue they create an inconsistent outcome and expand opportunities for deadly force for white people. But for black people, it seems to be a death sentence. A person comes up and push you. A person comes up and tell you where you need to go. You can't stand your ground if you're black.
Right. Toggle to 6023. That one state that only has 5,000 black people would be Montana. We just discussed this on Wednesday.
The whole North.
They have 1% of black people.
No black people in most of those states. And they have crime. They have prisons. They have jails. They have a lot of people that's in them. But let's try to act like black people are the whole problem in this whole country, when most of us only live in one area of the damn country. Most black people are in the southeast of this country. We're not even in most of the other states. If we are, it's very, very small numbers. Very small. But what makes this debate so intense is that both sides point to public safety. One side says citizens deserve protection. The other side says expanded self-defense laws create unequal justice for black people. And the research surrounding these laws remains highly controversial because they seem to always skew towards black people getting the worst outcomes.
Yep. And what's not controversial is that the outcomes continue to show the racial disparities. Well, researchers across multiple studies have identified differences in how self-defense claims are accepted depending on the racial identities of those actually involved. Again, that doesn't tell us everything that we need to know, but it does tell us something. It tells us that ignoring those findings shouldn't just make them disappear. We shouldn't just ignore the researchers' studies in saying that, hey, white people, we're being a little harsh on these black people over here. We're not giving them a fair chance. Maybe we should try something different.
No, they want to keep to the same old thing. Let's keep being racist. Let's keep saying, oh, it's not us, it's you. Let's keep blaming the people who are the fucking victims. Let's keep acting like they're doing nothing. Even though we see the disparities in jailing, we see the disparities in over-policing, over-pulling us over, over-policing us, period. At its core, today's discussion isn't about one defendant. It's about a whole fucking system that is against the people that are darker skinned.
They got a little
It's about
brown
whether
to their skin.
justice appears equally when it doesn't. Can two people engage in similar conduct and receive different outcomes because of their race? And it seems that is what is happening in America. The answer is always yes here. America has work to do, man, when it comes to equal outcomes and equal justice in this fucking country. The answer is always no when it comes with us. The researchers still need explanations for the disparities they continue finding when it comes to racial issues in America. Why is there always racial disparities when you guys are steady saying there's no racism?
It doesn't exist.
You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, well, black people are just bad." Are people with brown hair just bad? Or are people with red hair worse because they have freckles? Like, these things do not make us worse.
Do blondes really have more fun just
This
because
is
they're blonde?
Economic. Your economic level will tell you more about if you're going to commit a crime than your fucking skin color. Sitting around saying that just because you're black, you're going to be a criminal doesn't mean it's true. They can sit around and keep saying all they want that blacks are fucking criminals. And no matter how you motherfuckers try to push bullshit statistics that aren't real, y'all always push the same crap. It's not real. Your level, your economic level is going to tell us more about if you're going to commit a crime than your skin color. You can stop trying to blame race on everything. Either way, man, this conversation matters because trust in the justice system depends on legitimacy. And legitimacy depends on fairness. And this system doesn't seem to be fair towards the Black Americans at all.
Right. But people can always disagree about policy and they can disagree about politics. But everyone should be agreeable on one thing. The law should be applied equally to everyone across the board, no matter what your skin color is. The value of a life should not depend on race, and the credibility of fear should not depend on what race you are. And the availability of self-defense should also not depend on your race. But if America is serious about equal justice under the law, then we have to be willing to examine the uncomfortable evidence that we have. When it challenges our presumptions and our assumptions, we must ask ourselves, who is actually receiving the benefit of the doubt in these cases?
Now, the racists love to bring up black on black crime. But when you look at racial killings and you look at racial disparities when it comes to murder, most all people kill someone that looks like them. In a very segregated America, black people kill other black people. In a very segregated America, white people kill other white people. 85% of white people are killed by other whites. 90% of black people are killed by other blacks. I don't understand why you guys think that it's these people running around killing white people every day, because it isn't. That's not how it works. This is a very segregated country. There are black cities, black areas, black towns, black municipalities. It's just black everything. We're not intermixed. Even though this is a melting pot of a country, this country is very segregated. You got Koreatown, you got Chinatown, you got the Jamaican area, you got the Haitian area. This is the way it is here. Stop trying to act like we all live in the same neighborhood and it's all kumbaya when we know it isn't that way. These racial disparities are this way because in black neighborhoods, that's where the police stay every day. That's where they're at because they know that that's where the poor people are. And instead of trying to help these people to get better education, better health care, better outcomes, they do everything they can to make it worse. Black education gets the least money in the country. Yeah, it's so easy just to move. You're right. The Chinese aren't complaining because the Chinese are getting the money that they deserve. They come here educated. They didn't come here as slaves. They came here with money in their fucking pocket to build on something that they wanted. Just like the black immigrants that come here from Africa. They're not coming here poor. They're coming here with money. That is a different outcome than the people who were left after slavery and said, oh, go do what you got to do. And their fucking kids and their ancestors who were never given an ability to build on their own. The Chinese people were able to build in China, come here and continue on what they already started. We're talking about black people who were never given shit, never given the fucking reparations that they deserved, were just released from slavery and then said, good luck. Dude, y'all always worried about being the boogeyman. Why don't y'all do something to make this fucking country better than always trying to look at this shit? I mean, for real, man. You would rather see just laugh at the people because they're suffering? That's the thing that y'all would rather do. You would love to just point it out instead of doing something to try to help those that are suffering. Because I know y'all think it's just black people, but when you look at West Virginia and Kentucky and all these places where the people are broke as fuck, but they think they are in a better position because they're white, but they're broke and they're poor just like black people. And we need to start working together instead and showing that this is a situation that hurts the poor. But the racists think, oh, well, I'm white, so I'm better than them. Like, dog. One day when y'all wake up, man, one day. But the question we asked at the beginning of this show was simple. Who gets self-defense? The answer depends on who you ask. Some people believe the system works exactly as it's intended to. Others know for a fact that race continues to shape outcomes profoundly. What cannot be denied is that researchers continue finding disparities that deserve attention. Whether those disparities are caused by bias, perception, policy, or some combination of all three, it remains part of an ongoing national debate. Why does self-defense never work when the faces are black? Why does self-defense always fail even when the black person can prove that he was pushed first, that the person came to him? Doesn't matter. We're supposed to be the better one and walk away. White people can stand their ground and defend themselves. We never are given that benefit. It's not a debate when we see the numbers. 1.4%. When a black person says self-defense, that work. Almost never. Never. 99% of the time, we're going to lose. One thing is certain, man. Justice is only justice when it applies equally to everyone. And when we look at these stand your ground laws and we look at the self-defense laws, it never seems to apply to us. Now, the same people that are hollering that Carmelo is guilty are the same people who are hollering and screaming that Chud the Builder didn't do anything. Same people, man. Saying, oh, Chud, he deserves to be out. Self-defense. Even though he pulled his gun first, talked shit first, called people N-words, go around telling how he's going to kill some black guy. Equally, man. We see the adultification bias. We see the youth sentencing. We see everything that's going on, man. We see the self-defense cases across racial lines. We see the framing by the media. We see the way it works, man, and it always works to the detriment of the black community. The justice system doesn't seem to be on our side. And that's the main point that we want to get over. I don't care how mad y'all are. It's period. But this next segment, man, is best framed around the growth of white nationalist movements online and radicalization, and how political rhetoric crosses borders rather than treating all immigration concerns as extremists. That keeps the discussion factual, defensible, and in line with what's going on in the world right now, that these people are fighting to keep immigrants out of their country. We see what's going on in South Africa, Ireland, England, and America as people are fighting to keep out immigrants out of their country. It's insane, man, what we're seeing. It's just ugly. In Ireland and Belfast, they're setting things on fire. They're burning everything because an immigrant killed someone. Now, in our first hour, we examined one of the most difficult questions in America: who gets self-defense, and why Black people don't seem to get it. But now we're turning to another issue that has been quietly growing for years, but it's becoming impossible to ignore: the rise of white nationalism.
Mm.
Not just in America, man, not just in Europe, not just online, but as a global movement. Because something significant has happened over the past decade. Ideas that once existed on the political fringe are increasingly crossing borders, crossing ocean, and crossing languages. A conspiracy theory starts in one country, a social media influencer amplifies it in another. A politician references it somewhere else. And before long, the rhetoric becomes part of the mainstream political discourse. Today, we're looking at how white nationalist movements have evolved, how social media has accelerated their growth, and how political narratives are now influencing debates thousands of miles away, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And this conversation isn't just about whether or not countries can discuss immigration, but whether or not every nation has the right to debate immigration policy. And every democracy has the right to determine who enters their borders. The issue here that we're discussing today is something very different: the spread of radicalized conspiracy theorists and the normalization of extremist rhetoric, and the growing influence of white nationalist movements that increasingly operate across national boundaries and our borders here in America. So let's go ahead and get into the numbers.
Yeah, man. Let's begin with the data first, man. Because whenever we discuss extremism, it's important to separate facts from opinions. Organizations that track hate movements have documented significant increases in white nationalist activity over the last several years. Now we know today that the Trump administration, who is a wing of the white nationalist, white supremacy movement, is
Mhm.
going after the SPLC.
Mm.
Now, a lot of the racists, they really love this because they can blame their racism on Democrats, and even though this group is the SPLC is not on either, they are not biased for or partisan at all. They'll still say it's the Democrats. And they're celebrating. Oh yeah, those guys are making up shit. The SPLC is making up stuff. They're making up racism.
Mhm.
We're not the ones that's racist. They're creating the racism. It's fake. Dude, it's crazy. All the racist comments I've seen, all the racist outcomes we see in America, it's all fake. It's all fake. The SPLC is making it all up. As the white supremacist Trump administration tries to push it down our throats. You have to be an idiot to believe them. But the Anti-Defamation League reported thousands of incidents involving white supremacist propaganda distribution across the United States. Researchers described the total as the highest number ever recorded.
Mm.
Highest numbers ever recorded. White supremacy is that big of a problem. Think about that, man. Record highs. Not in the 60s, not during segregation, not during the civil rights era. Right now, during MAGA and Trump. Today, in modern America, we have the most white supremacists, the most evil.
Mm.
And at the same time, organizers are monitoring extremist movements, documented substantial growth in active white nationalist organizations. That's the reason why they're going after the SPLC, because they report on all these white nationalists. They don't like that. They don't like to be reported. They don't like that people are telling them what they're telling on them and saying what they're doing on their white nationalist agenda. And while these groups remain a minority, their influence online often extends far beyond their actual membership.
Mm. It does extend far beyond their actual membership. But one of the biggest misconceptions that we have here is that people think influence equals membership, when it really doesn't. A movement doesn't need millions of members for the influence for them to influence national conversations,
Right.
right? But a relatively small number of highly active individuals can generate enormous visibility through their social media platforms with just one viral post, one conspiracy theory, and one coordinated campaign. And suddenly, millions of Americans are now believing that they're discussing ideas that originated from a tiny extremist network. That's the reality that we're living in this digital age, especially when we have things like Facebook, Instagram, and you have owners of these platforms like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk who are saying when they don't want the regulations, they want to be able to post what they want to post. Now on Facebook, you can't even say whether or not something's fake news without adding a community note
He was asked 15 times to lead a tent.
by children.
By children. They didn't go get an adult. They didn't go get someone that worked for the school. They thought that they can tell the black guy what to do.
They didn't go get security.
They thought that they could push him and tell him what to do. And y'all was, well, they told him to leave. So it was kids. They can't tell him what the fuck to do. Why do y'all think that some kids can tell another kid what to do? If he was asked to leave and they thought that he was supposed to leave, they were supposed to go get an adult. No, they took it in their own hands and they thought that they could start pushing him around because he was the black guy and it was going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And he was wrong because he was stabbed for coming up and walking up on somebody trying to tell him what the fuck to do. And if it was the other way around, y'all would be celebrating. Celebrating if it was a black kid, just like the kid in South Carolina. Y'all celebrate. Oh, well, he was trying to steal. Well, he had a... Y'all be making every excuse in the fucking world to make it okay. Yeah, he stabbed someone to death. That's the reason why he's in jail. But only thing I'm saying is why when it's a white person who's standing their ground from someone else walking up on them and pushing them, it's okay. It's self-defense. But when a black man is standing his ground, it's murder. He's a crook. He deserves jail forever. I understand he should get prison. But why is it 35 years? Why isn't it 10? Or 10 years probation that another white kid got when he stabbed someone at school? Why does he get 35 years? Mm-hmm. Why do we always get knocked over the head when it comes to our fucking circumstances and punishments? It's disgusting. And historically, extremist groups tended to operate locally. Yep. They recruited locally. They organized locally. Their influence was limited geographically. But the internet has changed all that shit. Today, someone in Arizona can consume the same content as someone in Ireland. Someone in South Africa can hear the same talking points as someone in Texas. Someone in Germany can join the same online communities as someone in Florida. And they can keep the hate going. Mm-hmm. The result is the creation of transnational ideological networks of hate. Ideas move faster than ever before, and those ideas don't require passports
at all. And this is why security experts have increasingly described white nationalism as a global phenomenon rather than a purely domestic issue in America, because the movement has become international. The rhetoric is now international. The narratives are international. And often the grievances are recycled from country to country, no matter who you are, what culture you are, what demographic you are. The locations are different. The populations are different. But we have the same messaging, the same slogans, the same fears, and the same conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like too much is different wherever you're located in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And let's talk about Ireland, man, because Ireland offers one of the clearest examples of how American political rhetoric can travel abroad. For years, Ireland immigration debates looked very different from America's. Different history, different demographics, different political traditions. But researchers examined social media activity discovered something fascinating. A significant portion of anti-immigration content targeted Ireland originated outside of Ireland. In many cases from American accounts like Elon Musk, who loves to push shit like this, loves to tell them to fight like hell against the immigrants taking over their country. That this is coming from the colonizers, the people who rode around America, the world, taking over places, going to places and islands and countries that people who are just living their lives and they come in and just take it over and kill and rape and pillage everyone. Make them speak their language or kill them, hang everybody, murder everyone. And now they're like, oh, we don't want these people in our countries after they've went and taken over everything.
Right.
Stole their Americas, stole Africa, stole the Caribbeans, stole everything, murdered and slaughtered everybody. And then look at everybody, get out of my country after they've made everyone speak English and speak their languages. Live their customs. Forget your culture. It's white culture that only matters.
Assimilate to us.
Assimilate to our ways. As they sit around and make everyone become white and talk about how great it is. They took out the Native Americans, took out the Mexicans. The Mexicans don't even know that they're Aztecs and shit anymore. They didn't colonize them so bad. They think they Spanish. Taking out these people, everything. Taking out damn near every country in America, in Africa was colonized. And then they want to call you names and tell you to go back to your country after they've stolen everything. They're in every place in the fucking America, in the world. They are there with their ways, telling everybody else that they're no good. Going to everybody else's country, slaughtering and raping them, and then tell them that they're no good. Go and take over Africa,
America
take over
is
all
a
the
melting
countries.
pot of different cultures.
America wasn't a melting pot. This was Native American shit, and white folks.
I was referring to now when they say assimilate into become America.
They took it.
America.
How white people? White people are doing great. They ain't doing great, my ass.
They taking from everybody else and making it their own.
You're stealing, and you're still stealing today. You're stealing from Africa, stealing all their resources. That's all you do is steal. Go to Britain and you see a whole bunch of museums with African shit. Like, damn, how y'all just openly stealing people's shit and then put it in y'all museums
and call it
and charge people money, charge other Africans money to go see the shit that you took from them, the shit that you stole from Egypt, the shit that you stole from the Nubians, South Africa, all over the fucking continent. Y'all done just stole and stole and stole, and then look at the other. Well, what's wrong with you? Why are you broke? As you steal their resources and shit on them. Think about that. American political content helping shape and debates occurring across the Atlantic Ocean, across the world. As we see South Africa start bringing in these hate for immigrants. South Africans don't even care what country you are, what color you are. They don't care about blackness. They don't care that you're black. They don't want immigrants there because they're getting into this mode of hating immigrants. Mm-hmm. Who are they learning this shit from? America. As they push it toward everyone. Mm-hmm. That immigrants, get out of my country.
Under this Trump administration.
That's the power of modern media ecosystem. And this is what we're seeing today.
Yep. And what makes this important is that slogans often travel before the context does. People hear phrases online and they repeat them. They share them. And guess what else to do? And eventually those slogans become disconnected from the circumstances that they originated from. And the result is political debates that increasingly sound the same regardless of the country they're coming from. Whether or not you're discussing immigration in America, Ireland, Britain, or anywhere else in the world, you begin hearing similar narratives being repeated over and over and over, again and again. Mm-hmm. We don't want immigrants in our country.
And one of the most dangerous aspects of extremist rhetoric is that It doesn't always remain rhetoric, man. It becomes facts to them. It becomes behavior, influence. And this influence, it creates actions. Narratives influence movements. History teaches us this lesson repeatedly. Most acts of violence don't emerge from nowhere. They emerge from environments where certain groups are portrayed as threats, evil, rapists. What did Trump say? All immigrants are bad and they're rapists. They're sending their worst. They're sending their worst. They amplify the fear. They make you hate your neighbor.
Yep.
And America is scapegoating this shit and it's becoming normalized as people like Elon Musk backs it and said it's okay to hate your neighbor. They create this environment where complex issues and problems are blamed on the immigrants, on the poor, on the vulnerable. This pattern has been repeated throughout history.
Yep. And this is where responsible leadership matters, because leaders don't just influence the policy, they're influencing the culture, the language, the communities that we view and how we view them. When public figures are repeatedly describing certain groups as danger or invaders or replacements or they're enemies of the people, those messages don't just exist in a vacuum. People are internalizing those descriptions. And then some people are acting on them.
Yeah.
Some people truly believe what they're hearing.
That's real. So now I've talked about it and I've brought it up, but let's shift to South Africa, man, where we're seeing the same hatred and rhetoric towards other Africans from other continents. Now, a lot of white people love to say, oh, black people, they sold their own. But in Africa, they don't look at each other as their own. They don't care that they all have the same skin tone. Just like Russia is bombing Ukraine and killing them Ukrainians every single day, they don't look at Ukrainians as, oh, they're white.
Like
They have the same skin tone as us.
Right.
They don't care. They're blowing the shit out of them. But for some reason, black people are supposed to be, oh, we're the same skin tone. But that's not how it works on the other side of the world. Only in America. Because the narrative that has gained a lot of significant traction in South Africa internationally involves claims about white South Africans facing genocide, which is just bullshit lies. The white South Africans own 90% of the fucking wealth in South Africa, and they're only 7% of the country. This claim has become increasingly prominent in certain political circles, especially with the Trump administration. Supporters argue white farmers face violence and discrimination. But the numbers see something different. Critics argue the genocide narrative misrepresents crime and statistics and inflamed racial tensions, something that Elon Musk and the Trumps are doing on purpose.
Yep.
So now they're only taking people that are white from South Africa. If you're not white, you can't come to America. While these people on the right, MAGA, sit there and tell you there's no racism. Nobody cares about race or what color you are. But openly, Trump administration is saying we're only taking white people. And you can look in your mirror and say, well, he's not racist. I'm not racist for supporting him as he put in fucking policies that only affect white people openly. Now, regardless of where people stand on this issue, one thing is clear. The conversation has become highly politicized, and social media has amplified it globally. What might once have been a domestic South African debate is now a worldwide political issue.
Yep. And here's why that's so important. South Africa faces very real challenges. They face crime and poverty, economic inequality, and even unemployment. And those issues do affect millions of people, not just in South Africa, but here in America too. But when the conversation becomes dominated by racialized narratives, complex problems often get reduced to simplistic explanations. And a simplistic explanation rarely solves these complicated problems that we have.
Mm-hmm.
How does 80% of the wealth go to 7% of the population?
Right.
Is that fair? Is that equal?
Well, that's a mistake Mandela made. I just think that Mandela, he was the person that brought everyone together. They treated Mandela like trash. He was in jail for forever. But I wish he would have done more to take that wealth away from those white people in South Africa. Because now they still own off the wealth. They came in, they stole everything, took all of the wealth, and they still have it to this day. Stole everything from this country in South Africa. And then look at those people and say, oh, look at those piece of shit people after they stole everything from them.
Right.
And if they was to rise up and kill all the white people, then it's, oh, look at them. Look at those monsters.
They're committing genocide.
But if it was the other way around and the black people were stealing all the money from the whites, we know that slaughter would have happened a long time ago. The white people would have been slaughtered all the black people and took their wealth back. But if we do it, think about Haiti. Haiti still suffers to this day because they decided we don't want to be slaves anymore, and they killed all the French people that were on the island. And what was the reaction of that from the French? Embargoes, owe them money, put them in the hole. Nobody trades with Haitians. Haiti has suffered ever since they have fought for their freedom. Anyone else that fought for their freedom, they would be celebrating it. But anytime it's us, and we fight for our freedom and kill up all the white people who are fucking putting us in slavery, then we're the bad guys. Look at them. They killed them. Look at them. Oh my God. They were being enslaved. They were being made to work. But Haiti is still one of the poorest places on this earth. Nobody will help them.
Well,
nobody gives a fuck about them as they fought for their freedom to be away from white slavery. But they're still the bad guys to this day. Still the bad guys to this day. You fought for your freedom. You won your freedom. And you don't get the applause from the rest of the world. You get shitted on by the rest of the world because you killed some white people.
Because you wanted your freedom.
And they don't care if you are free or not. You kill white people, so we don't care. And they're going to keep treating Haiti like shit. They put all type money that they said that the Haitians own. All type money that they said the Haitians got to pay up because they fought for their freedom. I don't give a fuck if they like us or not. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how Haiti has been shitted on ever since they fought for their freedom. And every country in the fucking world turned their back with them, won't trade with them, won't do shit with them. And the French are still saying that they owe a whole bunch of money. They've done everything they can to fuck Haiti because they fought for their freedom. It's not, oh, well, we did enslave them. We did. That's not that. It's just all fuck them. Haiti can't rebuild, man, when everything is against them. If Haiti does get money, they have to give all that money to the European countries because they put so many embargoes on them. They've done so much to hurt them. They can't even get out of the hole that the French put them in financially. Why wouldn't the government be corrupt when they are owed so much money and they have to pay out so much money? They will never get out of the hole that they are put in. Ever. They will never get out of the hole that they were put in, especially if no one builds relations with this country. And I say it all the time. The African countries, man, if they can get out of the European pool, the American pool, that they should trade with each other, build money with each other. Hades, they trade with Africa. African Americans, they trade with Africa. We need to keep our money within our community. The Jews do it all over the world, and we do a bad job of doing it in the black community. because not everybody sees each other as the same. The Hades, they don't mess with the Black Americans, and the Africans don't mess with them. We need to stop that shit because it's not working for us. It's what they're using to keep us fucking down.
Mm-hmm.
But fear has always been one of the most powerful forces in politics, man. It motivates voters. It drives engagement. It captures attention. Look at those bad Haitians. In the social media era, fear often travels faster than facts. That's not unique to one ideology. It's not unique to one political party. It's reality of a modern information system. But these white extremist movements understand this particularly well. They know fear spreads. They know outrage spreads. They know conspiracy theories often spread faster than the corrections or the real truth.
Mm-hmm. Which means media literacy is more important than ever. People have to ask simple questions. Where did this claim originate? Who benefits from it? Is there evidence? What's the context behind this? Was there any verification? Those questions matter because power is in the information, unfortunately. And misinformation is even more powerful than the truth sometimes.
To say that to have connections because of a person's race is dumb when we see Europeans connecting all across the world. France, England, Spain, America, all the European countries, they're all cool with each other. They have treaties. All of the European white countries are all together. Norway, Finland, they're all together. The only outliers are Russia and a couple other white countries.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the white countries are together. So for me to say that the black countries should be the same way, and you to say that's crazy.
Right.
But we see that the European and the American countries that are led by whites are gung-ho with each other. You mess with one, you mess with them all. Why wouldn't we do the same? Why wouldn't we do the same? And the fact that we haven't is terrible. No, Europe takes from Africa and they connect with America and Australia, but they take from everyone else. It's a difference. They don't help Africa to become independent. They help Africa for they can steal as much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
But at its core, the discussion isn't really about immigration. It isn't really about Ireland. It isn't really about South Africa. It's about something larger. How societies respond to uncertainty. When people experience economic anxiety, cultural change, or political instability, who gets blamed? Who becomes the scapegoat? Who becomes the target? Seems like it's always black people. History shows us the extremists often provide easy answers to difficult questions. The problem, those easy answers are usually black people.
Mm-hmm. And that's why understanding these movements matter, not because they represent the majority, not because they represent the few, but because history has repeatedly shown that fringe movements can have enormous consequences when they're ignored. The lesson isn't to panic, it isn't to exaggerate, and it isn't to pay attention. Is it? But it's to recognize the warning signs and to be able to understand how narratives can spread before they actually become a movement.
Yeah, that's real, man. White nationalism isn't just an American story right now. It's increasingly becoming global. We see it in Ireland. We see it in England. It's powered by social media, X and Elon Musk, amplified by political polarization, and fueled by narratives that crosses borders faster than ever before. Whether we're talking about America, Ireland, South Africa, or anyone else, these challenges remains the same. White supremacists pushing their evil and their hate onto the rest of the people. And how do democracies to protect free speech while confronting these extremists? How do societies debate immigration without demonizing all the people? How do communities address legitimate concerns without empowering dangerous ideologies? Those are the questions every democracy will continue to face every day. And we will continue to do what we can to fight it. We will stand up against the racists. We will fight daily for the little people. Period. We're not going to stop. I know y'all love saying Musk is the richest African American. He's not African, you idiots. He's Dutch. His people are not from Africa. They moved there. They are not Africans. They're called Afrikaners. That means that they colonized Africa. They are not African Americans because they are not originally from Africa.
Technically, Elon Musk was born in Africa, so that does make him
his people
African,
are not
but
from
his
Africa.
lineage
Comes
his skin
first,
color
right?
is European. That's what he is.
Exactly. So when I say that I am African American, even though I am not from Africa, my people are from Africa.
Right.
So I call myself, he is not, his people aren't from there. So his people would be Dutch first, then African, because he's not from there. Just like I'm not originally from here. So Africa comes first, then American. So his shit would be Dutch African. He's not African. He's a Dutch African. And that's period. He could try to say whatever the fuck he wants to. How is he more African than me when he's not from there? You have to be retarded, dog. His people aren't from there. Just because you live somewhere doesn't make you something.
According to Wikipedia, Elon Musk is technically African American in the literal sense that he was born there, but he was later naturalized as a U.S. citizen. However, culturally and ethnically, like I said, he is considered European. But based off of where Elon himself was born, he is African. He is African, and he's from Africa. He's American now. But technically, based off of his skin color, he is European.
That motherfucker is European African.
His
Dutch
parents
African.
are Dutch.
He's right.
But they moved
that's what he
to
is.
South Africa,
so,
and
right.
that's where he was
All right.
born.
So I can say that I can just say I'm American. Even though I know no, I can't. My people are from Africa. So I say African American, just like the Germans say German American. He doesn't get to be able to say he's just African. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't give a fuck what Google says. Period. He's not African. He's Dutch. Dutch African. Period. You can't go and colonize somewhere and take all they shit and be like, well, I'm African. You ain't from here. The fuck out of here. All right, man. Let's go into the clips for the day, man. Nah, we don't just say American. Because the Irish Americans, the Italian Americans, the Japanese Americans, all of these people put where their people are from first, then American. That's not how it works. The Native Americans, exactly. The Mexican Americans, all these people are from their nationality first, then America. That's the way it works. His bitch ass is Dutch. So you would call him a Dutch African American. He is Dutch first. He is not fucking African. How the fuck is he more African than me because he was born there? Man, all right, bro. Whatever, dude. You people are idiots. Just like you white people are more American than the Native Americans, right? You're more American than them, than the people who were, their whole family and existence is from here. You're more American than them. I know. We know. So let's go into this clips of the week real fast, man. Let's see where we gonna start, man. So we got every week we spend time digging into the biggest stories affecting our communities, our country, and our democracy. But sometimes the most revealing moments don't come from lengthy press conferences or carefully crafted political speeches. Sometimes they come from simple questions, quick videos, a caught on camera moment, a reporter doing their job, a citizen speaking uncomfortable truth, or a politician saying exactly what they think when they believe nobody is paying attention. This week gave us plenty of those moments, plenty of clips to take care of, and we're going to look at politicians blaming everyone but themselves, officials refusing to answer basic questions, growing concerns about rising food prices, healthcare frustrations affecting everyday Americans, and some truly unbelievable moments from Washington. We'll also look at what happens when journalists actually challenge people in power instead of simply repeating talking points. Because journalism isn't supposed to be public relations, it's supposed to hold power to the accountable. The accountable to power. Whether that power comes from the White House, Congress, a governor's office, or a corporation, or anyone else making decisions that affect millions of people.
Yep. And that's why we call this segment Clip of the Week. The moments tell a larger story here, and the moments that reveal what's really happening beneath the headlines. This week, we've got everything from questions about government accountability to rising costs hitting the farmers and the consumers, to politicians dodging questions, to debates over immigration, healthcare, and foreign policy. When you'll see some of these clips can be serious and they can be frustrating, and a few of them are honestly hard to believe. But together they paint a picture of where America finds itself right now. We're in this. Is it really? Did that really happen? That can't be.
All right, so let's get into the chat, man. Let us know what you guys think because we're about to break down the biggest clips making news this week. Let's start with a reminder of why independent journalism still matters, man. This shit matters. Our first clip involves a political candidate making claims about Venezuelan gangs. The question isn't whether the claim sounds scary, but the question is whether it is true. Let's see. Go back to the top, bro. Oh, you're going too fast for me.
There it is, right there.
That's it.
You have claimed without offering evidence that there are 45,000 to 50,000 Tren de Aragua gang members in Colorado, mostly in rural areas, which is odd because that's 10 to 20 times the worldwide membership of the gang, according to the U.S. government. You also say that sheriffs in Colorado are preparing to deputize people who have special forces experience to go and fight this foreign army. I reached out to every single sheriff in Colorado, not one said you're telling the truth. A couple of them laughed you right out of the room. Do you stand by your claim, and will you finally present your evidence tonight?
They said I got that wrong. What they said was actually happening is 45,000 Venezuelans came directly to Denver and then applied for asylum, and they said there's probably 60 or 70,000 Venezuelans, not cartel, but just Venezuelans.
We emailed every single sheriff's office multiple times. We heard back from 40 of the more than 60 sheriffs. And the sheriffs that we heard back from did not support your claims. The one sheriff that you name-checked in your lengthy response to us, Teller County Sheriff Jason Meixel, who was a previous candidate for governor, said you're confused about things you see on the news, which I believe you just confirmed when you said you couldn't tell the difference between the 45,000 Venezuelans who came to Colorado and 45,000 Tren de Aragua gang members, which do not exist in the whole wide world.
So I'm right about the fact that not all 65 told you that.
Absolutely. What I said was that
15 didn't.
What I said was that we couldn't find one who says you're telling the truth.
That's a funny way to spin that.
Would you like to name the ones who support your claim?
I don't have to now. You just did. 15.
No, those are 15 that didn't respond, sir. That's not how math and logic work. Would you like to list the sheriffs who publicly will support your claim that they are overrun by TDA gang members and are preparing to deputize special forces?
So when you said that all 65 said that I was making that up and that you talked to all 65 and they all said...
No, good grief, sir. That's not what I said. Anybody watching at home can just roll back the tape. I'm not going to respond.
It is just what you said.
What I said was I reached out to every single sheriff in Colorado and not one said you're telling the truth. In fact, we heard from 40 who said that they had no evidence to support your claim. Tonight's your chance. Lay out your evidence.
And 2 weeks ago when you said it on your TV show, you said the same thing. We have the recording. 65 said that
Tonight's the time to lay out your evidence. It feels like you think you've won a clever game here. This is your chance to present your evidence to Colorado that the rural counties are overrun with tens of thousands of TDA members, or to say, whoops, I can't tell the difference between Venezuelans and gang members.
Well, I already said that.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I already said that.
Oh my goodness, dog.
What was that?
Just ridiculous. Lies after lies that people fall for daily. Just lying. Lying, just making up shit, making all Venezuelans out to be fucking criminals. Facts matter, man. And journalists are supposed to verify them. This is bad. The candidate claims about Venezuela gangs has been debunked, and he still keeps saying it. This is exactly why journalism matters. Too often we see sensational claims repeated without evidence, Trump, and a claim gets made, social media amplifies it, everybody runs with it, cable news discusses it, and suddenly millions of people accept it as fact before anyone has verified the information. Something they do with black people, something they do all the time, and they'll just run with the numbers. The public deserves better than that. And the politicians trying to take advantage for the ignorance of Americans need to pay the fucking price.
Right. But that's what they typically do. Facts first, politics second. That's how journalism is supposed to work. So let's go ahead and move into our next clip where we're going to see Trump talk to NBC during an interview, and he's going to get up and walk out.
Oh, we don't have that. We don't have it. I didn't post it, but it has been one of the most talked about moments of the week, man. As you can see, Trump does not like being asked tough questions, man. And like a big baby, he just runs out. He never takes responsibility from anything that he's asked or any situation that he put Americans in. He responds by attacking reporters, and this is what he does. And whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or none of the above, this raises an important issue, man. What role should the press play in democracy?
And a free press isn't supposed to make politicians comfortable. They're supposed to ask the uncomfortable questions. They're supposed to ask the difficult questions. That's their job. And regardless of who's in office, those questions should continue to be asked. And the politicians should still be able to answer them truthfully, honestly, and transparently.
All right, let's go into Pam Bondi in this Epstein hearing transcript, and this guy's going to be talking about what went on during that Pam Bondi hearing.
The transcript of the congressional testimony of the former Attorney General, Pam Bondi, was just released. Now, there's a lot there, but let me focus on something that I think is key and important. The reports are that the Department of Justice is sitting on 3 million documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. 3 million. Now, Pam Bondi was asked about that, and she said that she was told, her understanding was that those documents have not been turned over for 3 reasons: non-responsive, privileged, or duplicative. Remember, those are the 3: non-responsive, privileged, or duplicative. Those categories make no sense. Let's take it from the back to the front. Duplicative. Well, who cares? Turn them over. We'll see if they're really duplicative. We'll be able to see it. Big deal. If you're like, so what? We get 2 copies or 3 copies when there was 1. Second category, privileged. The Epstein Transparency Act, as members of Congress have said, does not allow for claims of privilege. Period. The end. So the department can say, oh, we want to withhold this based on some undisclosed claim of privilege, like attorney-client privilege or some such privilege. None of that is allowed under a congressional statute. The end. So they cannot claim that that's why they're withholding something and also be within the law. Final category, non-responsive. That's a fancy way of saying unrelated. That makes no logical sense. To say that there are documents that have nothing to do with the Jeffrey Epstein case is an irrelevancy. So everything related to the Jeffrey Epstein case needs to be turned over, and none of the 3 categories make any sense. It makes it clear that the Department of Justice is not in compliance with the Epstein Transparency Act. This is food for thought when Todd Blanche comes up for his confirmation hearing to be the Attorney General of the United States. Pam Bondi also made it clear that Todd Blanche had a key role in all of these decisions. So what that means is for Todd Blanche's confirmation hearing that's going to be upcoming. Keep your eye on the ball because this is going to be a key area for questioning.
Shit is crazy, man. Now, these files haven't been released yet, and we're going to keep talking about them until they are released. Pam Bondi and all these people are going to be held responsible once Democrats get in charge in the Senate and the Congress. Right now, they're skirting past without doing any real work or releasing the files that they were supposed to release. But we're going to hold them accountable, and we're going to keep talking about it. It's not going to go away like the Republicans want it to. It's ridiculous, man. The Transparency Act was passed for a reason, and they were supposed to release all of these fucking files. 3 million files still left, and they will not do anything. The House Oversight Committee released additional material connected to questions surrounding the Epstein investigation, but they won't release them all. As always, transparency is supposed to matter. People deserve the answers that they want, and public trust depends on the accountability. And no one is being held accountable except ex-presidents and people in the past like Gates.
Yep, especially when people of power are involved. The public shouldn't have to wonder whether or not the rules apply equally to them.
That's real.
It doesn't matter if you are a celebrity, a president, or anyone else. If you have been accused of a crime, you should not be a politician. If you have any accusations of pedophilia, sexual harassment, you should not be a politician.
Right.
And the fact that many Americans voted for a guy who openly said that he sexually harasses women.
Yeah, man. This administration, let's go into the next clip, man. We got Trump and this administration saying they're going to redirect federal money toward coal production while strengthening energy independence. Supporters argue it protects jobs and lower costs. Critics argue it's moving away from renewable energy investment and taking us back to the fucking 50s. Another example of how energy policy remains one of the biggest political fights in America, as Trump and his people don't believe in green energy at all and want us to stay on dirty, filthy, nasty, disgusting coal. Go ahead and run the clip.
Starting this summer, the West Gateway project will break ground, and by summer 2028, over 12 million tons of clean, beautiful coal per year will be shipped to countries all around the world. And this project's been delayed over 10 years, and Biden ended it, and then Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Barack Hussein Obama, another one. He's another beauty. But that delay is now over, and it's going to be very productive. It's going to fuel our electric plants in particular. It's going to be amazing. Finally, we're taking nearly $200 million in that to set aside for the Green New Scam, and it was set aside for the Green New Scam, but the Green New Scam is history, and repurposing that money so that we restart a coal plant in Maryland and help build 2 brand new coal plants in Alaska and West Virginia. And these are all built with new technology. It's very clean. It's amazing how that's come along. It's all very clean. And the first new coal plants to open in our country since 2013. You couldn't open. You couldn't even think. They were only closing them. They were closing them, and you had brownouts all over the place. But you don't have that anymore. Do you notice?
This dude trying to drag us back to the fucking 19th century. Like, this shit is so dumb. So dumb. We have technology to bring more green energy to America. Diversify our energy. It's so dumb that we will not take advantage of this technology as he wages wars on green energy. He calls the green deals bad deals. We all know with coal and all of these bad energy sources like oil, we know the outcomes. We know how bad it is for the environment. And our dumbass president wants to keep pushing us back into it. The last 3 presidents embraced green deals. Everybody was pushing to try to get more green energy so we can be more diversified and not worried about future and foreign oils. But this guy keeps dragging us back into it. It's the dumbest shit ever. Cannot wait till this guy is out of office and we stop living life like it's 1945. I'm over it. The dude has no idea what he's talking about. Now, next, we're going to talk about the farmers, and they've been speaking out a lot lately. Sometimes the most insightful political analysis comes from everyday Americans, man. Not consultants, not lobbyists, not television personalities. People living with the consequences of policy decisions. Now, that's why we wanted to include all of these clips that we're going to play here just talking about farmers. It reminds us that politics isn't a game. It's real people that's involved. People pay the price when decisions are made in Washington, and Trump shits on the farmers. But let's go ahead and run these clips, man. Talk about the farmers here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trump on farmers. It's fine.
Every day my administration is fighting to protect and defend the jobs and livelihood of our great farmers. I love our farmers, our growers, agricultural producers, ranchers from coast to coast. Under the last administration, Biden and the radical left Democrats in Congress crushed farmers with brutal restrictions, crippled you with the worst inflation. So the Biden administration had the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 49 years, 48 years, but whether you say 48 or forever, I think it was forever. We had the worst inflation we've ever had, and think of that, and failed to negotiate even a single new trade deal for our farmers. They didn't negotiate one new trade deal for our farmers. I just made a great deal. I came back from President Xi, and he's buying billions and billions of dollars worth of soybeans and other things, and you're seeing that starting to kick in. Thank you. So by contrast, in my first year back in the Oval Office, average farm incomes for agricultural producers in our country have skyrocketed by more than 20%. Now, it's been over the last couple of months since we went in for the military operation. You've seen fertilizer go up and you've seen energy go up. It's going to come down to where it was or lower. You'll be very happy. Otherwise, Ken is going to call me. He's going to bawl me out, and I'll say, oh, sorry, Ken, I was only kidding, right? All right. He knows I'm going to do it.
Now, farmers right now are facing hard issues as Trump has hurt them with their tariffs. He's hurt them with the trade deal as China is not buying any of the products that they were buying at first. He's hurt them getting beef from other countries. And he sits around and he talks like he's the savior. But we know the real answer. Now let's hear farmers out and what they have to say about what's going on.
Diesel prices, fertilizer prices, tariffs, trade deals or lack thereof, and immigration issues with visas. If you could pick one word to describe how it feels to be a farmer right now in America, what would that one word be?
Frustrated. And number one, because most of this situations have been caused by the administration's actions. Farmers understand weather and what weather can do to us and how that affects us. Either too much rain, not enough rain, tornadoes, floods. That's all something that, that's Mother Nature being at her worst. And to adjust to that, it's a lot easier to understand that we have to do something different. But when you have to try to figure out on a daily basis what's going on with your markets, what's going on with the products that you have to buy to keep your farm going, is a real frustration of having to deal with something that's man-made.
So these are unforced errors. These are issues that are coming from D.C.
That would probably be the best way to say it. Is it's something that if done correctly, may not have caused as many headaches as we're seeing.
You know, President Trump says that farmers in America have a champion in the White House. Somebody who's going to fight for them, somebody who's going to have their best interest at heart. Is that what you've been seeing?
In my opinion, no. You know, certainly there's a lot of folks that are diehard Republicans are going to say he's been the best president ever. And reality, you know, some of those trade deals that he's got, the Biden administration actually started those discussions with those countries. So he's just a beneficiary of what's happened in the past. And, you know, it's one thing that is a frustration of mine with a lot of Americans is that we just look at what happened yesterday, not what happened 2 years ago, not what happened 4 years ago, not what happened 5 years ago. And if we start to look at a little bit more history and see how history has treated the country and what's happened in politics, especially in the past, maybe we would wake up to what's happening to us today and realize that we need to change, because the current makeup is not working for the vast majority of Americans.
Now look at that. The farmers are disgusting. We've played video after video of different farmers talking about how they are being hurt by the Trump's policies. Now, Trump comes on video and he talks about how great he is and how much he's doing for the farmers. And we talk to the farmers and they're like, man, this dude is killing us. Americans have already been dealing with high grocery prices. Now concerns about livestock, pests, and supply disruptions are creating additional anxiety about food costs. Beef prices are going up and families are noticing.
Especially for working class families. People don't just experience inflation throughout the economic reports. They're experiencing this inflation at the grocery store, at the gas pump, at the doctor's office, wherever they need to go that requires money, they're experiencing this inflation, even if it's just to buy a simple coffee.
Now we're going to listen to the USDA secretary as she goes by the Trump playbook and tries to blame Biden. It's all in the same area. Go stay at the top. And tries to blame Biden on what's going on. That's it.
He's eradicated it, pushed it all the way back past the Darien Gap into South America, where it was contained for decades, I guess almost 50, 60 years. I do think it's important to note that under the last administration, with the massive movement under the open borders policy, the cartels, et cetera, border security, that's when it began to make its way back up toward America, hitting Mexico in early 2023, moving its way up through Mexico in 2024. And when we walked in the door last year, I was sworn in on February 13th of 2025. They laid this all out for me, and I said, well, where are the sterile flies, right? I mean, we've beaten it before. We've got to beat it again, and obviously not much had been done to push back. So
now, USDA secretary comes in, blames Biden. It's Biden's fault. These people take no responsibility for any of their actions. They have came into office and they have cut everything that has to do with keeping people safe, keeping disease out. What do you do to keep diseases? How to manage diseases? They cut all finances from all of it because they didn't think that those was needed. Only thing that's needed is tax cuts for the rich. Now these fucking diseases are coming in and they can't do anything about it because they fired everybody and they cut all the finances. Now how dumb are they looking? As people are yelling and screaming for help because they can't afford anything, these motherfuckers are focused on how can we help Elon get $1 trillion? How can we cut as much shit as we can so the poor people are fucked and we do everything we can to hurt them? But now it's Republicans being hurt. Now Republicans are begging for help. And we see Republican news. They are parodying that. And they are saying, hey, these people need Trump's help. And what is he doing? Nothing. Go ahead, play the video. Trump help. No, only
Mr.
the
President,
rich.
your supporters are hurting. People who voted for you 3 times, who would walk over Legos covered in hot coals to vote for you, are broke. Some are skipping meals. Others are buying canned chicken in bulk because that's all they can afford. The cost of food and gas is just so high. People are finding it impossible to pay for their kids' after-school sports once they fill up the car with gas. People who support you and support the war in Iran, who were willing to pay a little more to make sure our grandkids don't have to live with the threat of a nuclear-armed terror state, who were willing to pay a little more for the possibility of reshoring our great manufacturing base with tariffs, well, they've paid all they can. Some are expressing anger and frustration. They feel that they voted for you to bring down the costs. Others are just quietly skipping meals. And contrary to what some in your administration keep saying, it's not just vibes. Inflation is eating up wage growth, and then some. Gas is $4.50 a gallon as we head into the summer travel season. The producer price index is up 6% as we head into grilling season. Savings are at an all-time low. 13% of credit card balances are now over 90 days delinquent, the highest since 2011. You keep saying that the stock market is doing great, and that is true. But the gains of the economy and nearly all consumer spending are concentrated in the top 10%. Everyone else is broke. You keep saying that gas will plummet when Operation Epic Fury is over, and there's a new memorandum of understanding on the table. But even if there is a deal, it will take a lot of time for gas to come down. And in the meantime, the American people need something to get them through the slog. Your supporters need help, Mr. President, and they need it from you.
Now, this is a right-wing leaning news channel. Very right-wing, and they're telling Trump, hey, I know you keep playing up there like everything is great. But when we looking at everything, they are hurting. People are hurting. His playing up that everything is great is not working for these poor people. It's not. Now, let's start talking about healthcare. We got RFK and all his group and them. They're going to talking about is there any public health concern when we're talking about these screwworms? And let's listen to their answer and what they have for us.
Thank you, Secretary Kennedy and Undersecretary Kent. You both talked about federal funding for the medical schools. What happens if they don't meet these 40-hour requirements? What happens if they don't meet the 40-hour federal funding requirement for the medical schools, these 73 medical schools? And also, Secretary Kennedy, if you can answer this question, what would the CDC be prepared to do if there is a human case of the new world screwworm in America?
So I can answer the first question, as that's related to the event today. So there's no penalty if the schools are not meeting it, but they have publicly committed on a public-facing website. I think the great thing about this initiative is that we've let the medical schools be the adults in the room, right? So they've put their commitments out forward. We trust that they'll do that. They've put their name and their reputation at stake. Anybody can go to hhs.gov/nutrition-education. They can see the commitments. They can see the wonderful work that our colleagues are doing. And so we don't have any plans to do anything punitively. We think that the positive nature of this event is reflected in their work that they've posted publicly.
Great. Okay, we move on to the next one. Right there. Yep. Thank you.
I can't hear shit. But okay. Yeah, man. No transparency from these people at all, man. And transparency is supposed to build trust, man. And these people avoiding the question rarely builds that trust. It's a damn shame, man. But we got healthcare frustrations are high right now. This story hits home for millions of Americans, man. People pay premiums. People follow the rules. People they expect coverage when they need care. And too often they find themselves fighting insurance companies instead of focusing on their health. And that's the problem nowadays. Regardless of political affiliation, healthcare remains one of the most personal issues in America.
Yep.
And this is just a problem that we have, man. Let's go ahead and play this Ted Cruz video here next. Yeah, he down there.
And I'm spending a lot of time supporting other candidates. Look, I think this midterm election is the most important midterm we've ever seen. That if the Democrats take the House, there will be nonstop impeachment and attacking President Trump every single day. And if they take the Senate, they'll do that, and they'll also shut down every confirmation for every cabinet member, every judge. It is, their view is total warfare. And if you want Graham Plattner setting the agenda for the United States Senate, it's real simple. You sit on the sidelines. You don't contribute money. You don't show up to vote. I don't believe conservatives and just regular people are going to do.
Yeah, he's really worried about the future, man, and the accountability that the Republicans are going to be held when the Democrats get in office. Washington remains deeply polarized. Both parties increasingly view elections not simple as political contests, but as battles over the future direction of the country. And that rhetoric continues to escalate as Republicans are pushing and pushing and pushing. But let's listen to old Lindsey Graham, and he compares Trump to God.
Thank y'all. We won. So I want to start with a bunch of thank yous. I want to thank the big guy, God. Trump comes later. Mr. President, you're not far behind God, but we're going to start with him.
Political loyalty has always existed, but comments like these inevitably spark debate about personality-driven politics and the limits of political devotion. And Americans can decide for themselves where those limits should be. As they say, Trump is God, next to God. This shit is disgusting. Disgusting. And as this week, we've seen audio come out of Speaker Johnson talking about cutting Social Security and cutting Medicare. If this is true, this is one of those moments that instantly goes viral because people feel like they've seen this behavior before. Politicians avoiding uncomfortable conversations. We got politicians running to not talk about these cuts that Mike Johnson talked about. Social media makes it harder to get away with that shit today because we're not playing it, man. Yep. Go ahead and run that clip.
Congressman, what is Mike Johnson's secret plan to cut Social Security?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah, I'll be there just a few minutes.
No response, sir?
You see your phone is not on the phone,
It's over at 416.
Congressman, what is Mike Johnson's secret plan to cut Social Security?
Listen, I appreciate that. I've got some more efforts that I want to talk to you about. There are actually more things that we have to be working with. Yeah, I want to make sure that we're
no response, sir.
Yeah, listen, thanks. I appreciate your help on this. I really do need some more of your input. Yeah, if you can actually reach out, I'll make sure that we do more of this. Yeah, let's not really
acting like you're on the phone with somebody.
Keep it going. Go ahead,
Yes.
There you go. All right. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy to see what we got going on right here, man. Next we're gonna play. Trump today is talking about he has a deal with Iran.
He said it 39 times.
But let's look at the history of how many times this guy has said that he has a deal. 39 times, like Iesha said. Oh my goodness. What's going on? It's tripping. We're almost done. I think this is the last one.
Yeah, it's the last clip.
Yeah, hit wait. Go ahead and run it.
The clip.
Yeah.
It's not responding.
Responding.
Yeah, the clip's not responding.
Yeah, do a refresh, I guess.
It's
still thinking, dang.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tripping.
It's super tripping. Exit page and see what
Nah,
happens.
don't do that. And I guess will in stream work?
Oh, that's just gonna take the. Yeah, we're frozen. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
What?
Let's see.
No, it ain't probably ain't doing. We probably can't see nothing right now. I guess exit page, man.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead and play that. See if it works. It's not there anymore.
No, it's not. It's scrolling.
Oh my goodness! All right, man, go ahead and end this. I'm over it.
Call it a day.
Yeah, because it's not doing anything else.
Oh my goodness!
Weird. Can't even end it.
Dang.
All right, y'all. We're gonna see y'all on Wednesday. We're having some technical difficulties.
A lot of them.